Hey, we are here and we're back on the podcast with Mr. Phil Ross, who is a black belt in 4 styles of martial arts. He's a master blade welder. He's a body weight or blade wielder, I should say, body weight specialist, master kettlebell instructor. He's a college professor in wellness and exercise, and he's been a fitness enthusiast, mindset coach, and he's all about that winning mindset in both group and one-on-one sessions. He's written 4 books. He's got a guide to street survival and strength and exercise snacks. And so there's so much to talk about today about getting our body right, our mind right. There's so much with martial arts that about like that mind body connection and being your best self and being honed, focused, present, all these wonderful things. So we're going to find out the secret to life and living and happiness and getting things done and discipline and everything that goes along with that from the source himself, Mr. Phil Ross. So, Mr. Phil, how the heck are you?
Hey, great, Robert. Yourself. Thank you for having me. I'm glad to meet with your audience. So let's have some fun. Drop some knowledge bombs. I'll let you know what I've been doing and how I've been doing it. I think that a lot of people would like to know what I'm doing to get the word out because I've been successful with several businesses. I think this is my 7th one I built, and right now I switched to an online model. I had a studio for over 30 years, and I did many seminars out of there, classes. I had a waiting list until COVID, to get in there, and then I was also an adjunct professor. So after that, COVID hit, and I figured, I'll muscle it out for a while, and it didn't work because then people were afraid to come back. So I sold my building, moved that out. And then I went to a gym up the street, and then they closed. I said, you know what? Let me focus on this online model because I already launched the body belt method. So the thing is, what I did, the thing is with the body belt method, it really is a secret to longevity and a secret to health and well-being. The methodology that I've been able to put together from my training with the Russians and kettlebell. I trained with the original gentleman who brought kettlebells over here from Russia, Pavel Tatsaline, and I was part of his instructor corps. We trained SEAL Team 6. We went down there, had a great time with those guys, and I've trained Army Rangers, football, NFL teams, many college teams and stuff, and one heck of a lot of UFC fighters and Bellator fighters and so forth. So, but more important than that, what I found is that we can actually help people live better longer through this methodology. So if anybody ever goes onto my YouTube channel and checks out the testimonials, it's at the Master Phil, but you can get to my YouTube channel from any of my websites as well. But the way that we reach out to people and actually help them with their problems, and I'll tell you, a lot of these issues lie in the fact that we do not strengthen the support muscles of the spine, and our postures are abysmal. Okay, and the food we eat, the lack of explosive exercise training. A lot of guys are worried about their testosterone level, right? So you see commercials all the time, ED this, that, and the other thing. Look, I'm 62 years old. I take nothing. I swear on a stack of Bibles. And look, I'm a Christian. I swear on a stack of Bibles. I take nothing. And my testosterone level is 778, which the normal range is anywhere from 450 to 600. And I'll tell you, 20 years ago, I was in that range. But 20 years ago, I changed my training. And I've maintained my same weight, increased strength, increased mobility, all through this body belt method. And that's what I'm bringing out to people. Matter of fact, this method is so solid, so good. It's the only kettlebell training methodology that's been approved by the New Jersey State Board of Physical Therapists. So if you're a PT, doctor of physical therapy, you can come to me to get continuing education credits because the program's been vetted. Not to mention it's recognized by a plethora of the personal training organizations. So how am I getting this word out there? Wow. You guys familiar with Go High Level? I'm sure you are. So
Yes, see you around.
Yeah. Yep. But it's not just that. It's also for marketing because I'm able to post multiple posts. I can schedule out my posts to social media, to a whole bunch of different platforms, and I can do different posts to like Google. Then I do to LinkedIn, then I do to TikTok, then I do to Instagram, I do to Facebook. You know, they're all slightly different. Um,
Right.
and then, of course, I have my YouTube channel, which I'm constantly cranking videos out there. And the things, I found out a lot about the YouTube. I've grown my channel in less than a year. I've grown it from about 1,000 to over 2,600 right now. So the formula seems to be working, but it's a slow build. Listen, I'm not a sexy young girl with a lot of cleavage, so I have to really build it on real content. So I
Right.
found that you want to have your proper keywords, you want to have the playlists, you want to have thumbnails, and they all have to be lined up. And another thing I found was making the shorts and attaching the short to a long form video. But apparently, long form video is making a comeback. So you know how you can tell that? Because TikTok just expanded to 10 minutes. It used to
Right.
just be very, very quick. Now you can do 10 minutes on TikTok. Um, some of the other things I'm doing, I do a lot of presentations. I just did a show down in Virginia over the weekend. I did 3 presentations during the fitness conference, and now tomorrow I'm doing another one for the Physical Edge. I'm bringing this out to a bunch of different educators, and then I just got another phone call today. I go on a trip, come back that afternoon. I fly back in the morning. That afternoon, I'm invited to do a presentation on my methodology to doctors and chiropractors. There's a whole group out in Western Jersey that I have to meet with. So it's look, there's no real secret. It's just a lot of hard work and looking for the opportunities and taking advantage of them. Oh, and you said that I wrote 4 books. Well, I have a 5th one coming out right now. I just finished my last chapter on it. You ever hear the Books for Dummies series?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, I co-authored a book. Actually, I brought one of my buddies, and I got the deal. But I brought my friend. This guy is super super bright. He's a neurosurgeon. I said, man, I just want to be you one day, just one day. So when someone says, "What do you think you are, a brain surgeon?" Well, as a matter of fact, I am. so,
Nice.
it's called Managing Back Pain for Dummies. So I approached the mindset aspects of it, and obviously the physical aspects. But he's very good at it because he was my personal client for 10 years, and he actually wrote the book, "The End of Back Pain," and he thanked me for all the kettlebell exercises in it. So now we came together, and and we got the deal with the Dummies, and that should be out. It's due for release in October of this year.
Very
So
cool. Well, you're so accomplished, and I'm really impressed. You might be the most qualified fitness person I've ever met in my entire life. I have your YouTube open where you're swinging the 2 sledgehammers,
yeah, I
and
like
I love
that.
the visual of that. And it seems like just like the rest of us, you face a lot of adversity, right? There's
Yes.
all these doors closed. There's this gym location closed, but you still figure out a way forward. And one thing that out of everything you said there, one thing I'm curious about is how do you stand out with all this fitness stuff? Like you mentioned a little bit of that, right? Like you're not a hot girl, so you're disadvantaged
No.
there, and there's all this
Mhm.
stuff to figure out with the algorithms. But like it seems like health and fitness, it's like so jam packed full of competition. So do you ever get
Yeah.
discouraged, or how do you find a way to be unique with all that?
Well, one, I'm too stupid to quit. So there's no quitting me. I've had so much adversity in my life. I just rise above. Listen, I was a Division One wrestler. I was a competitive kickboxer, national champ. I won a national level tournament in Brazilian Jiu Jitsu as well. But I just never say die. I've had 10 surgeries. You know, I'm a 9/11 survivor. So yeah, not too much gets me down. I mean, I always figure it out, and one of the things is that how do I maintain my focus and how do I get my edge? Well, I do that through the quality of my content. I inject humor into into my videos too. Like you'll see, I have a whole thing on. I have your bench press is BS, your squat sucks, your press doesn't impress me, your row is ridiculous, and your deadlift is dumb. Okay, so what I do is, even though I like some of those movements, but I'm giving people alternatives. What I'm doing is I'm using my sense of humor to attract it. Hey, maybe inflame a couple of people. Hey, get some attention that way. But then you put that out, and you engage. And then what I do with those videos, and then I send those videos out. Like I'll send them to the other platforms as well, so that refer back, and now I get more subscribers. I mean, I'm constantly gaining subscribers. So, and getting those interactions. But that's one of the ways I differentiate myself. I really try to reach. I don't try. I do. I go for reaching people and giving them something that's going to help them. The seminar that I'm doing tomorrow, the presentation is called Self-reliance through Strength and Self-defense. Now, listen, if you know how to defend yourself and you're strong, doesn't that make you more self-reliant?
I think so.
Yeah, right. I mean, think about it. And people when you discuss strength, strength is a choice, and so is weakness. But strength is a virtue, because if you look at it, does anybody ever say, "Oh, wow, look at that person. They're so weak. I want to be just like them." Yeah, no,
Never.
Nobody ever says that. You never hear that. You say, "Wow, that guy's strong," or "That girl's strong. I want to be like them." So, and it's a choice. It's a choice that you make every day. The thing is that, I don't afford myself excuses. You know what they say about excuses? They're like armpits. Everyone has them, and they all stink.
They all stink.
So the first thing you do when you get up in the morning is you do something physical. Every morning I get up. First thing I do, I put on the coffee. I could put it on a timer, but I don't, because I want to actually physically go to the pot and make it. I turn it on, and then I do my stretching. And then I'll do a little calisthenics or dynamic tension or something, maybe a yoga workout. But I get my body moving. Look, do you have a dog or a cat?
Cat.
Okay, what does a cat do the first thing when it gets up?
Does the rounds, goes and guards the perimeter.
First thing, as soon as it gets up, it stretches.
Oh, there you go. Even before that, yes.
Right. The dog does the same thing. They get up and stretch. So what do we do when we get up? We get up and sit on our behinds.
Right.
I mean, look, I'm working out right now, even though I'm sitting here talking to you. I'm on a physio ball. I'm not
okay.
Look.
Yeah.
I'm
nice.
on a physio ball. So I'm constantly working my core and getting my spinal fluid moving. Makes you have a good posture too. You can't have a bad posture when you're sitting on a physio ball. So it's these little things that you do.
Yeah. And we love to get to these sort of habits that you have, because I find myself, I'm not sure if I just thought I make excuses, but I know I'm never doing enough. Like, you hear about these alarming statistics about how, like, after age 40, most men don't even do any like high impact exercises. And I know, like, I do walking, but I don't run regularly. And I know I have a kettlebell from when they first were a fad, but I definitely, I don't use it the way I should. It's not part of my daily routine. And so, like, what do you see as far as the average person like me who, like, I mean, I know at least I walk a lot. And when I go on walking, I don't see anyone else hardly walking. So I know I'm like above average there, but I know I should be more, but I know I should also be kind of kind to myself. So, like, just what do you see as far as the average men, and like what we're doing right, what we're doing wrong?
Well, the thing is that the way I look at it is this: like, you don't have to train like a Navy SEAL. You don't have to train at the level that I do or did and so forth. You don't have to be a UFC fighter. But you know what? You can do little exercise snacks. That's why I came up with that book. I actually started during COVID. What I did was I noticed, God, I don't want to sit at my desk all day. So I get up, do some push-ups, sit-ups, squats, throw some punches, swing a kettlebell, do whatever, right? And then I started making videos for my cohorts at the college, and I put them up online, and people were loving them. I'm like, So I started writing all the workouts down. So what I did is I put together a whole book. There's 55 workouts that you can do in a 6x6 area, all in about 5 minutes or less. And they include, kettlebells, body weight, dumbbells, calisthenics, and yoga movement, stretching, flexibility, kickboxing, boxing, all that stuff that's there, and everything's delineated, and everything is programmed out, and all the movements are explained, and there's like over 250 pictures in that. and it's only for $2.99 for the electronic version. I just wanted to get it out in people's hands. Again, my goal is to help people live better longer. That's what I've been doing my whole life, because I've seen I've gained so much. I've gained so much confidence, so much in my body, in my mind, through my training, through the martial arts, and I just want to share it with people because I really earnestly want to help people out, and any way I can reach them. This is why I do so many seminars. I do workshops. I teach at a college. I'm online, and I've been able to make a living at it too, which is even more awesome. But it's consistency. Consistency is the key. And here's the thing too, Robert, I want to bring up. There's a thing I call the 90 days of suck.
Okay.
For 90 days, it's going to suck. Just know it in your head, but muscle through it. Like, don't give yourself the excuse, because if you stick with something for 90 days, you can now form a habit. And if you say every day, I'm going to get up, I'm going to stretch, do 20 push-ups and 30 sit-ups, do some squats and bridges, and then go about my day, and you do that every single day for 90 days, your body's going to want that. It's going to feel that. And it's going to feel weird when you don't do it. I feel weird if I don't work out. I really do. So, and even then you get to the point where, you can take these 5-minute workouts, you work out of your house or an office or like home office or something, right? So
Home office.
Yeah. So, every hour or so, you get up, you do a little workout for 5 minutes. Do you know how much more productive you're going to be?
A lot. Now that you put it that way.
Yeah. You're going to be a lot more productive. Your blood flow is going to get going. When you can get a pump and then go back and work, wow, you feel alive. I mean, you feel alive. Yeah. And I just want more people to do it. And I want to try to change the culture in corporate America and in businesses and education as well. And say, hey, you know what? Get up, do something. When I have a break at the college, when there's a break for the class, we get up, we stretch, we do some push-ups, squats, whatever. We do something in the middle of class. Just to get the blood flowing. And you know what?
Yeah.
The kids are productive. Very, very productive. I mean, you can check out my rating. No, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, this is great reminders, and it's like, it reminds me of when we were in school, like, age like 10 or 11 or so, when they really drilled the physical fitness into us. And then it seems like when we're older, we become adults, we can do what we want. Some of this falls by the wayside, right? We forget some of the important Richard Simmons sort of advice, and like, just, take a break every now and then and stretch. And it has all sorts of upsides, right? Not just you'll get through these 90 days of suck, your body will get used to it, you live longer, you feel better, but it'll also help your productivity. And it's easy to forget that in the moment, isn't it, Phil? That you say, well, I'll answer some more emails, and you're like, hey, take that break, recharge, you'll come back even better.
Yes. The thing is that we excuses are easy to find. They're easy to find. So what you do? Instead, find a reason to be successful. And the thing is that, people use the term motivation. Motivation is good. It gets you going, but it's fleeting. What you have to do is discover what's your driver. What's that inside of you? What's the compelling thing that's going to make you get up? What's this? And leave yourself a reminder of it. Put it on your computer. I have a mental toughness right over there from my mindset training. So I look at that. Okay. Am I doing this? Am I working? Am I doing what I need to get done today? Am I being too easy on myself? And I just say, okay, hey, that's my reminder. And then I just do it. And another thing that helps us too is deep breathing. When you start getting stressed or you start feeling, you want to get motivated, you want to get going, take 3 deep breaths. Look, I have a teenage daughter. So, I'm practicing 3 deep breaths all the time. Right?
All the time. Sure.
So, but.
Well, great. So, I love the discipline ideas here of like, write it down, have the reminders, you stick to it, because it's like, if you leave yourself to your own devices, it seems like there'll be all these ups and downs. But if you have the proper tools and you say, hey, when I was feeling good, here's that reminder, so that way when I'm down, I can get back up to that. And you have these techniques like the deep breathing. So you say, well, if I have the awareness, of, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
not just ignoring it, how I'm feeling down. Well, let me apply one of these techniques and get up and going and get better. And so we have a limited amount of time on this podcast. The goal for us both is to get people enthused, energized, excited to check out more about you, to check out that YouTube channel, check out those books.
Mm-hmm.
Exercise Snacks sounds amazing, and the website. But in these
Mm-hmm.
last couple of final minutes, as far
Mm-hmm.
as like everything that you've had to teach, everything that you've had to say, is there like a big idea? Is there something of the past 20, 30 years of your life that has been like world changing and like what you're all about? Does anything come to mind as far as a big idea for you?
Well, the basic premise here is consistency. Consistency is the key. And I don't care what it is, whether it's school, education, work, fitness, diet, relationships, consistency, and that consistency will breed competence. Competence will lead to confidence. So you have those three C's together, and you know what? That makes you unstoppable. Think about it. If you're consistent, you have competence, and you have confidence, what's going to stand in your way?
Nothing unless you let it.
Right? 100%. And you're in control. You want autonomy. The thing is that, we can't control everything in our lives, but we can control how we respond to things and we can control our actions. So you're in control of that. Don't let anybody else have power over you. Like, don't let someone else stand in your way. Don't let someone, make you mad and get to you. Look, there are many things I could be bitter about in my life, but you know what? Let's move on. Just, you have to learn to move on and, and take from it what good happened. Because those doors close, other ones open. That's why I just go through I've gone through a few different iterations in my life, and I just love the exciting challenge of the next one.
100%. Focus on the good. And what I like about a lot of your advice here, Phil, is that there are so many things that we think are out of our control, and we can flip the script. We can say, hey, I can choose to be happy. I can
Mm-hmm.
choose to get motivated. I can choose how I react to that. And if we're kind of looking outside our area of control and we're like hoping that that magically changes, we're making excuses. We need to not do that.
Yes.
We need to do better, and we need to be disciplined and get these things done. And so you said that consistency equals competence equals confidence. And I love that. And I hope that you'll be proud of me. I think as far as this podcast that you're on, I think it's like
Mm-hmm.
episode like 1265. And
Wow.
some days I look at my calendar and I'm like, I've got 7 appointments. But from now on, when I look at that calendar, I'll think back to you, Mr. Phil, and I'll say, man, if he can sit on the fitness orbit, if he can swing the sledgehammers and swing the kettlebells, and if he can power through all those failures, then what's my excuse? It's not like I'm digging a trench. It's not like I'm like pouring concrete, right? I'm sitting at a computer. I can get these things done. It's a test from the universe to see if I really want it. And so
Yep.
if someone says, hey, I love what Phil had to say. I love his fitness messages. The YouTube
Mm-hmm.
channel sounds amazing, and so do the books. What are some next steps here? How does someone find out more about you?
Oh, they can find me on all my different social media links. I'm on Facebook. Master Phil Industries. I have my personal Facebook. I'm on Master Phil is on uh, Instagram. Master Phil Ross. I'm also on LinkedIn, TikTok, and Master Phil Ross. And you can get to all my different social media links from philross.com or thebodybellmethod.com. And I also have online training there. There's video trainings, video certifications. You can see my schedule, where I'm going, where I'm appearing, I'm signed up for a whole, but I got a very, very busy few months coming up. It's going to be pretty crazy. There'll be a whole bunch of new events being posted up there in the next couple months. I'll be in, I got Atlantic City coming up in June. I got Orlando, Florida in May. I have Anaheim. I'll be out in LA in August, and I think I got 2 more in there somewhere too. So
Nice. In
revisit.
between sleeping and using the bathroom, things like that.
Yeah, it's funny. Like I know I should probably get a little more sleep, but I wake up. I wake up and I'm like, okay, let's go.
Yeah, you're excited. You have that passion. You have that drive.
Yeah.
Well,
You,
I'm really impressed by you, Mr. Master Phil, and everything you have going on. I mean, you have supplements, you do motivational
yep.
speaking, etc. And so you can find out all about that. You can find the videos, find the social media at philross.com. That's PHILROSS.com. There's the Body Bell Method, which is a revolutionary kettlebell system designed by Phil Ross, achieves strength, endurance, and functional fitness like never before. And Master Phil is a seasoned martial artist and fitness expert with decades of experience in multiple disciplines. And so you go to philross.com and just get educated about all these ways that you can build your strength, skills, and resilience under his expert guidance. That's philross.com. That's the hub. And that YouTube channel, especially, it's wild. You have to check it out. That's at the Master Phil on YouTube. And before I let you go, Mr. Master Phil, it's time for the scary part of the show where I try to stump you. I try to put you on the spot. I
Oh,
ask for
geez.
a fun or interesting quote or lesson that has served you in life or in business. So what comes to mind for you as far as a helpful quote or lesson?
This is strength and honor. That's my quote, strength and honor. Remember the Gladiator, the first one?
Sure.
They would grab each other, strength and honor. I'm all about that. My son and I used to do it, when he'd compete, and then, when I was competing, it was kind of fun for my son to see me compete at 48 years old in a jiu-jitsu tournament.
Nice.
But that's mine is strength and honor. That is that's what I abide by. But we do have a special offer for all the people listening. There's a 20% off on the supplements, BBM 20, like Body Bell Method 20. So they put that in. They put that discount code in when on checkout. So.
Fantastic. So BBN20 at
BBM,
Phil Ross.
like Body Bell Method.
Yeah. Oh, BBM. Okay, BBM20, philross.com. You check out those supplements. There's Survival Strong, Master Self-Defense. And we owe it to ourselves and the people in our lives and our family to be as healthy as possible, to encourage them to be healthier. That way we live longer, we get our testosterone up, we're happier, we're more excited, we can show up the way that we want, no matter what our business or our industry is. You have two choices, right? You can wither away and die and not live by these good values and not be mindful of what you eat and kind of just waste away and not make good use of your time. Or you can be a proactive person, because we all have this potential, we have these abilities, and we can choose to squander it, or we could choose to show up with excellence. And you don't have to be a Navy SEAL, but you can be someone who is a strong leader, who helps others, who cares about others. And that's what we should aspire to be, right? Go for not evil, but instead go for good. And you can get the help that you need from that from Mr. Phil Ross, MSCPT. He's a professor, presenter in the Body Bell Method, and he's a survival strong lead instructor. You can find him on LinkedIn, but more importantly, philross.com. Show up with strength and honor. Check out his social media presence. And man, Mr. Phil, I feel like I need to go out for a run after this, or at least a brisk walk, because let's go together. And you got me so excited. I'm glad you came.
All right. My pleasure. Thanks for having me, Robert. And thank you for the audience for listening. I hope that you gained something from this. Strength and honor.
Yeah. All right.